Yo, hello. I'm a Challenger League coach, and often you feel like you're useless, you can't do much on top lane, and you have no control over the game. And I'm pretty much in a matchup where I can't even carry the game, because it's a counter matchup where I'm mostly gonna go just even or behind. So I want to tell you guys how to have actually more impact over the game early on. So in here, of course, not much will happen. We just CS with trade here and there, but realistically, you can't really kill him. Now, we went for a heavy trade previously, right? Now, what you should aim to do is actually just in this type of situations, even if your jungler is patting downwards, just ping or type it down for your jungler to gank. And you should also give him the kill, of course, because that Serata Dark Spike helps a lot the Kha'Zix, right? So in here, right, we can see signals to all in, right? And so what happens, we are in this Shogat. Now, make sure you don't posture too aggressively, because then it will give it off that your jungler is around. Now, if you posture way too defensively, that can also give it off that your jungler is around. So you gotta like somehow posture in a way that you don't seem like you directly walk backwards, because it just gives them a feeling, oh, maybe he's baiting me into a gank. But don't play too aggressively either before your jungler is here, because that may also give it off. And in here he just gets all in, of course. He flashes because he flashes after him. Now in here I should ban ping him to shove, which was a slight mess up, of course. I should ban shove this as fast as I can. I didn't have probably the most efficient shoving technique in here, because this wave is not in the best state. Now Kazi didn't invade. He got caught by Nocturne Cho'Gath. It's not really a very consistent invade, because even though he recently got a kill, Nocturne fists Kha'Zix in the early game, so it's something you shouldn't really fight, especially if the guy has lethal tempo, not this guy had Conqueror. I think it's slightly weaker in the early game. So this is a bit of a shitty situation, because my wave wasn't in the best state. Either because I didn't position correctly, I didn't shove in time, or my champion can't, and Kazik should help a tiny bit at least, right? It's not a big deal, because I went for a heavy trade on Cho'Gath, and that sort of unfroze the lane for me, actually. Just because I baited him into fighting me. Now, if he didn't, like, fought me in here for no reason, because he can't kill me, like, realistically, he can't really kill me. Uh, it would just mean that the wave is broken. Now, I saw Nocturne, right? Just to be clear, I saw Nocturne was here, and of course I note that he's patting upwards because he got his top side camps, right? Now, in here, your passive is coming up in 3 seconds, right? You shouldn't be worried of his Q cancelling your, how's it called, recall, because here's a fun fact about Malphite. Your your recall doesn't get cancelled when you have a shield on, and the shield comes on automatically. So normally if you would play a Emilio, for example, you would shield yourself, you would cancel your own recall, right? That doesn't apply to champions that automatically gain a shield, like Malphite, Yasuo, right? This type of champions. Now, in here, what realistically should happen, the guy did not kill me, right? He couldn't gank me. So, uh, he could really easily just aim to actually steal these camps, right? And so what's gonna happen, I'm trying to intercept it, right? I'm really trying to intercept it in here. I noticed him. I didn't directly walk, but I should then directly walk towards him, right? In here I unconsciously noticed him. Uh, and so what happened, I'm just walking towards him because he wants to pick up the raptor camps that's gonna spawn soon. Just to be clear, Nocturne just wipes the raptor camps in no time, but this is where I'm the annoying Malphite, the annoying top laner. Like, your wave doesn't matter as much as denying the enemy Nocturne. And also in here he's trying to fight me. He doesn't know that I already recalled for items, so he's not supposed to win this. Also he has no lethal tempo, so he's not really supposed to win this. He also failed to like parry my E, which is more important than my Q. And in here he just gets killed. Now in here I don't care if I die. I did not die, by the way, but it doesn't matter if you die until you kill the enemy jungler. Now, it's a bit of a bummer because he tries to proxy me, but then he changed his mind. I pick up my level 5, of course, and walk back to top lane. There's not much to say right now, but just CS a little bit here and there. I mean, it's all really right. As CS a teensy bit, pick up the wave to get my XP. It's really important to hit 6 as fast as possible, which unlocks some possible mid bot lane roams, rake fight roams, you name it really, right? And yeah, I mean, the game goes on. These are the rooms, by the way, if anybody cares. I don't think so little tempo, like, comment are great in this matchup. PTA I didn't try, so I stick to grasp to just kind of like try to match a little bit with sustain. Um, that's it really. I don't can tell you guys really exact, but that this is the most generic rune Malphite players take into Cho'Gath. Now in here I got my Bummies in there. I'm shoving as fast as possible, of course. There's not much to say because right now I'm just shoving. There's not much to do right now. And after shoving, I could think of possibly intercepting this situation in here, right? The only issue with that is that the play is already gone, so there's no reason to rotate. Um, I just got a ward in here, right? In case Nocturne tries to gank me after Scuttle. Or what he would try to do. It's really important to see where he's patting towards. Now in here we also have a ward, right? So I just want to see where he is patting towards, and I want to queue him just to be annoying, but that was a misplay because giving him attack speed means that he finishes the Scuttle Scrap faster, so that wasn't actually a good idea. What I did, I just randomly pressed my Q. And so in here, watch out where he's patting towards. We can clearly see. Is he patting towards top? No. Okay, I don't have to worry. Is he patting towards mid? Mid is ungankable because Nocturne is not even 6 yet, right? So what's gonna happen if we pay attention closely? He doesn't goes back to his jungle. He goes in our own jungle. Now in here you gotta be really careful. Look at my positioning. So this is a really important moment. I don't instantly reveal that I'm tracking him. I'm gonna reveal the whole map so everybody can see it with their eyes, right? He could walk this way. He could also walk this way, right? You don't actually know. Now, because I thought he's walking this way, I'm completely respecting it, right? Oh, he actually does walk that way, okay. So, I wait until he's actually inside of the bush, right? And then I collapse on him. I also gotta wait till Kha'Zix is in position because this red won't be one-shotted, just to be clear, right? We have time. We don't have to worry. So when Kha'Zix is in position and I'm in position to all in, we're gonna go in, right? Now we can see Kha'Zix is on the blast cone, right? So we can actually commit for this fight. Because normally if Kha'Zix would just blast cone in here, jump into the red, Nocturne really likely would actually kill him if he would be alone, right? Now in here what happens since he has no blast cone and no ghost to escape, what happens first of all I proc his his W with my uh, own W, right? Am I correct? No, with my E, because my W doesn't proxy it with my E. Then watch out what I do. I instantly Q it before I get feared. If I wouldn't slow him, right, then he wouldn't be actually dead here. So it's really important to Q him right after he uses his spell shield. Otherwise, it's just a game of guessing. And due to his the slow itself, we are able to catch him before Cho'Gath Qs us, right? So it's really important to layer your Q correctly. Now in here I'm 6 and watch out what I do. I'm pinging help, right? Because Cho'Gath is in trouble right now. Me myself, I have my ultimate, right? I approximately all in with my ult and all that. I deal something like 600 damage, something like that, right? And the rest of it Kha'Zix can just finish. Because this guy is not too tank, right? I even control warded, right? So just in case there is like a random ward. Although he's already using Oracle, so it's not really like a big tech I did there. I just didn't know he will Oracle. And so what happens in here, Cho'Gath knows. Like from his body language, it means that this was warded earlier, so he spotted the Kha'Zix. Now, because I know he flashed earlier and his flash is not supposed to be up, I just commit with my ultimate. And then what happens, he just Baron pings the enemy jungler, right? Now, in here, if I was a teensy bit smarter, I would probably just rotate for Herald altogether with my jungler, although he's not supposed to be beaten by Nocturne right now, he just can't be zoned away, right? But I prefer shoving it first and then rotating for it, which I didn't even, I think. But normally you should rotate for it. I greeded on plates. I was something like, probably Nocturne wouldn't even bother to contest it right now, and likely he's not in this side of the map. But normally you should actually be here because it might be a smite fight actually, right? So normally you should aim to like rotate for it. I got 2 plates and he got his herald, so greeding paid off. But normally I wouldn't recommend you guys to do this actually. It's it's way better actually if you do rotate for those type of heralds. Now in here he's invading, so I'm trying to pick up the plant, get some mana of course, and then if Nocturne is around by chance, but he wasn't really. Then I can collapse, but he wasn't really. So what I do instead, I'm fighting the Cho'Gath, and I'm pinging the Kha'Zix, because alone I can't really beat the Cho'Gath, sadly. But Kha'Zix was on the camp, and that's totally fine if he wants to CS, of course, that's a thing. That totally can happen, and now in here, it's just obviously what's gonna happen. I shove out the wave, and I think soon I'm looking for a recall. I need 100 more gold, so I'm gonna get the next wave, and I'm gonna look for a recall. I could then also hold the wave on my side and just all together wipe the next wave together with this wave, and then that would be also fine. But it's just like I'm looking his parva shoving anyway, so what I was looking for is just like simply a shove, and that's alright. A shove, a recall. Just picking it up with Bummy Cinder. I always walk back and in, so I dodge his Qs, and my Bummy Cinder doesn't like messes up my last sitting under tower, right? And now in here I get Sunfire. Now arguably Sunfire is not the best item to be rushed into Cho'Gath. I just really took Bummy for wave clear, and I rushed Sunfire. It didn't feel to be bad, and they are mainly like, they have 280 champs, but probably like some Jack Show or some type of resistances would be good. Like, maybe you can take Bummy Cinder for wave clear, but it feels like Malphite's wave clear itself is not that bad. I was just something like, probably I'm gonna look for a lot of like shoves and roams this game, and inside lane it's really important to push out the waves as fast as possible as well before I get collapsed on by Nocturne or someone. So I was just like, yeah, maybe just have some extra pushing power, right? Extra fighting power as well, because this item provides, I think, the most DPS. Maybe Frostfire provides a similar amount of DPS, but it doesn't have the early Bummy Cinder wave clear. It's like, after this one I went for Jack Show though, because I need some MR, I need some armor, so it's definitely great on Malphite. If they would be more heavy on the AD side, then I would of course go Frostfire, but in here I really need a Jack Show. Now in here I'm just holding the wave and waiting for Kha'Zix. Even though I have Bummy Cinder, I still can hold the wave on my side, just hold the freeze. Although it takes some time, that's why I pull the wave a little bit and I try to not Bummy Cinder it as much as I do. But apparently what happens, Cho'Gath roams. And things are getting a bit unfortunate in here because he even didn't manage to get the roam of the Cho'Gath. So I just shove and try to deny as much CS as possible, of course. I didn't hear a pink Kha'Zix because I really feel like Cho'Gath, if Cho'Gath is walking up like this, most likely Nocturne is around. Because bot is not gankable, neither mid, right? So likely he could be around for his camp or just to gank me, right? Because he knows I don't have R. Now what I do in here, I'm just trying to escape, of course. And we can visually see the Nocturne tries to all in here, right? I just simply bait them into Kha'Zix, and what I do, I just get my W, right? My EW off, and my auto as well, and then I flash. Then what happens, Nocturne dies in one basic, so one smite. Now in here sadly I get caught, and Kha'Zix, I think he manages to E out, does he? Does, okay. He does. Now, see, I have a lot of early game impact, so if you want to have more and more early game impact, it's all about your early game macro. Even if you play a champion that's Malphite, right? Like you can't even roam pre-6, but you can still have some degree of macro if you have a good communication with your jungler, if you have some good jungle tracking, right? So it's you're not that useless as you think, right? That's just my point. You're not as useless as you think. Now in here there will be some plays here and there. I just mainly wanted to talk about the early game part, how to be more useful in the early game. At the end of the game, we're gonna lose the game if anybody is curious. It was a bit of a unfortunate game. Our team comp was a bit dysfunctional into the enemy comp. That's also something that's good to know. That's it for now. Have a nice day.